So this is a lackluster video of me building a welding table that I started a couple years ago. This is the frame that I initially made with an old Harbor Freight AC flux core welder, and it's been sitting outside for the last couple years, and finally got some more material and gonna try to finish it up. We're just gonna jump right in the middle of it. Hopefully you can follow along. This is the leg to my welding table I'm making, and for the adjustments I got this threaded rod, 1-inch threaded rod I was going to put down in here to make like adjustable legs. And but instead I found this size threaded rod with these big old nuts. Them girthy things. So mocking up, this is just a scrap piece. Mocking up, I milled off 3 edges of that nut so it slides down inside and hangs off the edges. They'll have to be angled like with the actual bolt end to make sure they're relatively straight, but I'm not precision. Might as well weld them mother truckers in, and hopefully that'll be strong enough not like just rip through or fold these over or something with 1,500 pounds on 4 of them. All right, so progress on the welding table. I'm gonna take this barely cut off wheel. I'm gonna cut all the yellow marks to get this table down in size. All right, so I've welded 2 of these in, got that one and that one over here working on this one. So here's my setup. Is just a piece of angle stock against the corner. Measure the bottom, measure the top, make sure it's the same. Measure the bottom, measure the top, make sure it's the same. Just try to make sure that this bolt's going in as straight as possible, and get these last 2 welded up. So we can get that one measured up and get it tacked in. I had a tape measure a little while ago. Doing this super professional like. This is pretty much one done leg right here. So I got that welded in, and I'm making a welding table. I am not the most fabulous welder, but working on this is hopefully making me better, and then I'll be able to use it as a workbench and welding table. So these get threaded all the way in, and then we'll adjust this nut to level the legs on all 4 corners. So this is the nut welded on and threaded all the way in. That's just some grease spilling out there, just kind of showing it in the bottomed out adjustment area. All 4 feet welded on, and we got a little bit of wobble just between these 2 sides of the nut here. So let's take our barely fitting pipe wrench, run that down. Makes contact. Now it is stable. Now I got to put on making like a bottom shelf. It's gonna go across like right here, That is what these pieces of pallet racking are going to be used for. And so I'm going to have a piece across here, and then in the middle, kind of two coming across to keep like a, I don't know, probably about, that far-ish by measure of arm in on each side. That's what we'll be working on next. So we just use the abrasive cutoff saw here, cut down the pallet racking pieces we're using for the table underneath. And there's some remnants of working on my kids' bikes. So I'm gonna get these cleaned up, get the spots on the legs cleaned up, lower at the bottom where those are gonna be mounting in at, and we'll start burning those in. Since I'm the second worst YouTuber ever, I already got this cut and I notched them to fit in, so these would be more flush out here, but I got that welded in. Haven't done the inside of that, but at the bottom and the top. And we ran out of wire. So I'm gonna get the wire replaced, but I figured I'd show you this real quick. Notch the ends so that insets into here a little bit to make it sit flush on the back. So keeping with the welding table work here, I got this end notched. These are gonna set in down here, and I got a piece to fit this up. I just got stabbed in the stomach with a piece of wire brush. And so this is like the rail down there, just an extra piece of it. Those are gonna sit in there and weld those in. So hopefully this is good on length because I've already notched both ends. And it fits in, and we got about an 1/8 inch play. So I think that'd work. Ooh. And so those are gonna sit in. I gotta measure where I want them and make the other one, put it in there. All right, so we're another several days later out in the shop, and I'm welding on these little plates. I don't know, I just had them laying around. Sounded like a good idea. I feel like I did half decent on that weld there. Not amazing. Decent amount of gap filling on the bottom because the legs are slightly set in. But I got one left to finish up. Haven't cleaned these ones off yet, just still hot. And tried using these Harbor Freight generators with a 30 amp cord. So those are 1600 watt running each to this camper cord. And I just put a 15 volt plug on. But this welder only 15 volt plug, but keeps tripping 20 amp breakers and shutting those things off. So I gotta finish up on this one. Gotta weld the top and the bottom, and it'll be done. I don't know, I might use these, like tap them and make them as adapter plates so I can kind of bolt stuff to the leg or something. I don't know, just decided to throw them on there. But I got more of these plates, and these are thick enough that I can thread them and do something with them. We got our road plate marked, says 5 foot going that way. We've already taken a notch out of this side. So we're gonna get it cut on this line, and time to get going. Bad boy fired up. Come on, come on. Get there, get there. There we go. We are gonna be here a while. Yeah, we're gonna be here a while. I got a better idea. Alright, so here's the little bit of test of strength on my welds here, and it's going to go really shit because I'm not really going to heat this plate. But I'm going to try to weld, piece this chain to the side, and on that side too, and lift it up with the engine hoist and get it on the table. So I'm going to go get my steel toes on after I get this welded, and try to get this put on there. So it's probably going to topple over backwards just because I don't have enough lift on the thing, or like I have the boom out too far. Let's try to bring it in. Try to set this back down and get under it more so I can roll the boom in. Let's try setting it down. All right, try to get this onto here more, and then we'll slide the boom in, try to get it up there. All right, so hook this ratchet strap to the chain to the back of here, and was able to pull the plate up farther. And now we just got to slide it over to here, lift it up, and things go under, plate goes on top. All right, let's try to get this thing on here. That, my friends, is a workbench right there. All right, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up. But here's the table. It's 5x5. It sits off the ground a decent amount. I don't know, 3.5 foot, something like that. Got my adjustable legs. Majority built with this Harbor Freight welder. I did build the frame assembly, the initial frame assembly, with the older AC version, the Chicago Electric one of these, but this one is actually really good. Pretty phenomenal. I did left here a hole here for accessories. I did want to put a 2-inch receiver through the side eventually as well, and then find a mag drill to drill a pattern into it so I can then anchor stuff in and make fixtures and all that. But all in all, very, very happy with it, and I cannot budge this thing. So next on the list is to try to make a wheel assembly. Hopefully those will mount underneath this, kind of go there. And I want to make it where hopefully I can lift two sides at a time with like a hydraulic jack or something in the middle. That'll be able to lift it up or compress down, push the wheels down to the ground, lift it up. Do that here and over there. And I can actually move this thing around. I do need to figure out how I'm going to affix the plate to the table. So I was thinking about welding a bracket to here, a piece of L bracket, and then drilling and tapping screws into here. Probably 1 to 2 per side. But I mean, I can't put my weight just into the plate. I can't even move the plate on top of there. It's got a lot of friction holding it in place. And once I get wheels on it, in case there is a failure, I do want that to be bolted on. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and feel free to make some very mean and hurtful comments below, and hopefully you subscribe, and maybe I get better at this whole making videos thing. Well, I don't know. See how it goes.